Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything is booting on up. Give a moment to activate the live chat windows. Live chat windows are good. Now give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. First replay looks like it's going to be this room here. Looks like everything is good to go, so let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the right side is the red Zhao Titong, we got Inconspicuous. On the left side is the blue Judy, we got Buster B-side. When it comes to COs, both these COs are custom COs. Judy has a standard boarding or reduced boarding cost of 30%. Standard radius, no expansion, no energy. She only has a day-to-day providing plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and 30% salvage of damage dealt. Zhao Titong has an absurdly low boarding cost of negative 90%, so he gets a 90% refund or rebate upon loading his unit up, his CO up into a unit. Effectively means you should try to really deploy it out with your CO unit and be hyper-aggressive. He has no superpowered or CO power. In fact, he has no race like Tabata, but it provides no aura benefits whatsoever. It is just purely meant for effectively nearly free CO units. So let's go and get started. When it comes to Zhao Titong, think about it this way. When you load up a regular tank with your CO unit, usually it costs 50% of 7,000 or 3,500. You get 90% refund. Effectively, you get 6,300 funds back. Meaning that CO tank, that fully veteran CO tank, effectively costs only 700 funds rather than 7,000 funds. Plus the load up cost, which is 10,500 funds. Quite a bit different. Of course, that is his only benefit. It also allows him to tech up a bit more earlier, because you get also rebate and refund. This map, of course, is Fog War. Got a pair of comm towers in the map. Both players do start with a temporary airport. The meteorite has taken a bullet. There's also an airport here. It's surrounded by soup plasma, so destroying the meteorite does not get rid of these, but at least still creates an opening there. Got a mech now deployed in the field. Recon bike. This map is not super high income, so maybe Zhao Titong should rush out for a medium tank. The distance between two goes for early artillery. The distance between two COs is not too great, so yeah, maybe rushing medium tank would be good for him on this map. Hard to say exactly for sure. The meteorite took another bullet. You monster. Does spot the infantry unit there that has captured the city, so it's probably a good idea for the infantry unit to start firing upon the infantry unit. Tank here, so Judy will likely seal her up herself inside that tank. Does get a nice early pick there. This unit will of course get repaired up. Moves the tank up to HQ, which she can reload herself up in that tank still. Tank flare. Flare is a good idea. There's some hiding spots in this map. Plus the flare has absurdly high damage for its machine gun. I see keep on mentioning that, but I'm always still impressed with how much damage the flare can do with its machine gun. Now we have a medium tank there, so looks like he is going to rush out the medium tank as I theorized and wished. Upon a star. Oh crap, that's a meteorite. Judy's CO tank is now advanced before. The artillery is inside the forest, looming in the woods. It shall fill something filled with holes. We do have now the CO loaded in medium tank there. He has 25,000 funds. He can go for a bomber if so chooses. Wait, you know? That stupid battlecopter mech flare? I honestly think a bomber would have been a really fun thing to play. I think he should have gone for a bomber. There's a temporary airport on the map as well for repairing, and it is pretty early for an anti-air, though it's a good idea to go for earlier anti-air, but still. I saw there's an anti-air on the field, but honestly a bomber can deal with anti-air early on. Yeah, I think he should have gone for a bomber. Of course, now Judy has spotted the CO medium tank. Strikes the meteorite. Another battlecopter anti-air tank. He's getting the roll doing thinks that massive rebate. Because this medium tank effectively costs 1,200 funds. That's cheaper than an infantry unit. Damage is fully CO'd. Good strike there. Judy's just not holding back. The artillery's in range. So Judy's gonna get a pretty good shot under the CO tank with the artillery, I would assume. And maybe the mech will finish off afterwards? Yeah, probably not. Oh, battlecopter's in range. The mech could have finished off there, but decided to finish off the infantry unit there. Not a bad idea. Zhao Titong has a very good advantage. Of course, there's the anti-air in range of the battlecopter, but we've got just a chain of battlecopters. So Judy will need up more battlecopters and anti-airs to stop her. Decides not to seal herself into the battlecopter, seals herself inside the tank. Gets a good strike on the tank there. Good hits there, getting quite a bit of salvage, double hits there, but remember as well, this thing's technically dirt cheap as well. And this time she is out of range of the artillery. The artillery's been getting some good work done. Nice little pick there, but they've got the bike and infantry unit nearby. Infantry units rotating around. Good. Takes time to double tap the meteorite. Now got a war tank there. Remember as well, you can't seal your unit if your seal unit goes down, so maybe should have been a bit more aggressive at medium tank out. Let it go down so the seal war tank can be sealed. Either way, the war tank should probably migrate down south to the HQ, as well as for the winter. Artillery tank. Right now the income's equal 17,000, 17,000, 93 versus 85. So Zhao Tong has a slight advantage. Yeah, just slight advantage right now. He's got that meteor right there. Anti-air mech. Blair does spot the artillery. And Judy has a pretty good battle group of tanks. Flare tank. And that flare was nearly perfect, spotted everything pretty much there. Creeping his way forward, don't think the war tank's been spotted just yet. Does spot the command tank, command medium tank. And does spot the war tank there with a nice recon pass from the tank. Does spawn the battlecopter, sees another battlecopter, so probably needs to get out another anti-air battlecopter tank recon. And the tank will perform. It's a good shot there. War tank takes out the anti-air mech, spots the battlecopter. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. What a good idea, just sack that 4 health battlecopter on the full health battlecopter. Good shots down there. There's a lot of battlecopters and a decent number of mechs right here as well for a escort. Medium tank infantry. And then maybe I'd go for another medium tank here to CO. Battlecopter does strike battlecopter. Artillery does strike the meteorite. Does take the meteorite. Strikes the medium tank there and double taps it. Gets a good hit there, but no salvage that strike there. Takes out one of the battlecopters. 94 for 105. Does get a good strike down the mech. Takes the mech there. Gets a bit more salvage. Has 16,000 to bank, so can afford a medium tank. Lots of good strikes there from medium tanks. Battlecopter tank. Just going for a big battalion of light tanks, as opposed to the artillery and mechs and war tank. Does see himself again another medium tank. He has enough for a bomber. These tanks have taken pounding. All of them are quite wounded. Pretty good counterattack there by Zhao Gatong. And there's the bomber, tank, and base skin. 3 COs a tank there. Takes the bike down south, hits the anti-air. Battlecopter strikes, battlecopter knocks it out. Battlecopter interrupts the capture. Tank falls back. Tank falls back. Tank also falls back. Tank also falls back and merges. Medium tank. Some of these battlecopters can be hit. 1 health, 3 health. No, the battlecopter. There's a 1 health battlecopter up north. Flare stays alive, which is okay. After all, it is keeping it alive. At least just allows it to fire off flares. Of course, we got the bomber here. Infantry unit does get stuck there. Bomber gets a free kill. Anti-air maybe arrange that bomber. The wasteland slows it down, so the anti-air cannot range the bomber. And looks like it's going to set itself up in the forest there, ready to hit that bomber, trying to lure it in. Blue's going to fall back there. I think right now blue could eye for anti-tank. Battlecopter tank infantry. Bomber strikes the tank there, takes the flare, takes out the tank, and going for an HQ cap. There's himself nearby to interrupt it, though he is fully walled in now, which may be successful for a full capture. The anti-air could be hit by the artillery, and it's getting pretty close if it can be interrupted. Artillery does strike the anti-air. Good strike there. Could have got a bit more salvage and moved forward first. And does interrupt the capture with the anti-air. Will not be able to strike the bomber. Mech Duster. And we do have another bomber up north. Command tank does go down. Could join, capture the 2 infantry units. Does. 8 capture marks remaining, so 2 turns still fully captured. 40,000 versus 120,000, not looking good for Judy. Duster does strike Bomber. Eliminates the capturing unit. Anti-air medium tank. Duster effectively gets knocked out. Now there's 2 bombers, one very wounded, one of them not so wounded. And going for the HQ capture now. And I don't think there's any way to save it. Right now, Blue is just getting crushed. Recon course can interrupt, but there's nothing much left Blue can do in this game either way. 4 tank infantry. First capture there, gets some good hits there. Anti-air strikes artillery. Gets trapped. Mech anti-tank. Bomber takes out the medium tank. Infantry, artillery, battlecopter. CO's the 3 health anti-tank. Does get some salvage there onto that bomber. Anti-tank and mech. The full health bomber still lurking around. 2 capture progress remaining on the HQ. And we'll start dogpiling it, surround it. And that's probably going to be the last turn. And Blue has resigned. His Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. That's wrong button. Error 12. I hit the wrong button. Is it going away? Do I need to refresh the page? Okay, it's time to go away. Oh. I think I need to refresh the page. Give me a moment. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. As well on the south side as the gray... Is that Tabata? Yes it is. I always get Tabata's and Penny's profile picture sometimes mixed up. We got Evil Unge. Spawn on the north side as the green gray field. Got underscore MWM underscore. Of course, Greyfield has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart, does offer a reduced boarding cost, has 3 rates, 30, 60, 60, and offer all units plus 10. Naval units get additional 10% and 40% defense, also seaplanes and battlecopters. So he's probably going to load himself to a battlecopter. When it comes to his power and superpower, or just superpower I should say, you can also deploy unwitting units from temporary airports and seaports as primary big buff. Tabata is still largely the same, standard boarding cost 0 raise, 30, 60, 60, and provides all units with a very small radius, plus 60, plus 60, and of course she gets Sturm's Meteor as a superpower. This map is a 3-base map. It has a strong side, weak side mechanic. One side has 2 bases, the other side has 1 base. Also an airport in the corner, surrounded by superheated plasma. Couple more bikes, of course, deploy on the field. And we do have a recon deployed by Greyfield. And there appears to be no natural temporary airports in this map for Greyfield to make those advantages. Tabata's going to be loading or catching up the central comm or southern comm tower. Tabata does have a bit of a design philosophy or more or less a differences when it comes to her CO zone, to say the least. There's a bit of an evolution. Initially, she's just more of an assassin character. You want to try to have her pick off 3 units to get her +1 CO zone. Then at that point in time, she becomes a wall break, because then she can support her nearby units to also have absurdly good firepower. It'll punch through a wall quite easily. And if anything still remains after punching through the wall, then she can annihilate everything around that created the wall with a meteor strike via the Firestorm rockets. Greyfield has gone for an early rig. We may see a forward temporary airport. He's not needed to. He is going to push forward a mech and then wait. His superpower can also. He also can place down his temporary seaport, and so superpower could give him a forward battleship. Which, as static replacements, battleships are actually not that great compared to previous advanced wars, because battleships had actually 1 range removed in exchange for the ability to move and shoot in the same turn. So they're actually worse as static replacements compared to other games. Because let's be frank, they are excellent ships now. Another tank, and Greyfield may seal himself in this tank here. He does provide himself the standard +10/+10, though when it comes to battlecopters, he can get Wayland level defense. And here, tank. Another medium tank deployed on the field by Warfield. He has turned himself into a regular tank. And sometimes we may see this rig start to deploy on a temporary airport relatively soon. Right there behind that city may not be a half-bad spot. We do have a chain of mechs deployed by Greyfield on his strong side. Tabata has gone for a large number of bites on her strong side as well as her tank. Interior and tank push way forward now. Greyfield gets some damage done. His CO zone is quite large, so it's easy to charge up. It's not a spectacular CO power. At least not I've seen. And he's trying to pull out temporary airport. Don't know if it's too far forward or what. I think it'd be a good idea from high for battlecopter this turn. Triple tanks now pulled in the field. Greyfield's command tank gets hit pretty hard there. The light won't go down. Not enough nearby infantry units to machine gun it. Greyfield right now has 36 energy, and there's a lot of targets in front of him. He could get a seal power charge this turn. There's a lot of targets in front of him. Of course, he can fully deploy out that temporary airport and then apply his power next turn and go for ambush spawn seaplanes. Because they can be deployed out at an unweighted status. Means you can deploy out multiple seaplanes. So he could, if he's going to he has his superpower now. Pull back his tank, it does merge there, that's perfectly fine. Tabata's tank there is locked down. Temporary airport is the one field. I'd say skimp out spending, go with 2 seaplanes next turn. Just go triple infantry. Mech, APC, and or rig and bike. He has 23,000 income, so he can afford 2 seaplanes next turn. And these seaplanes, of course, have 50% defense on their first turn. It's been a very long time since the last cast game of a seaplane. Greyfield's probably the only COs you'll probably see a seaplane for in view, because aircraft carriers are still pretty expensive, though very fun in single player. And let's see what Greyfield's CO power looks like. Or he's not going for CO power just yet. Let's strike the 8 here. And here comes the power, or superpower. Of course, he gets more supply on the rig as well, so he can pull out more. I was expecting seaplanes, but that's a bomber. Ambush spawn bomber with plus 50% defense. Oh wait, no, he doesn't get additional defense on bombers, just the 10% global. There's a seaplane. Now the seaplane has plus 50% defense because it's a naval unit. I was expecting a double seaplane. I was not expecting the bomber. And there's a lack of proper 8 here now in the field. There's 2 in the back line. The seaplane will have to stay close to the temporary airports and rigs. But everything else, the bomber could just go flying around, go back to the temporary airport, get repaired, and of course resupplied. Anti-air full fighter. Seaplanes can engage the fighter, if I remember correctly. Don't know how effective though. Seaplanes are is the most versatile unit in the game. The only thing you can't hit is submarines, submerged submarines. And bomber falls back. So does the seaplane. Seaplane does have to stick around the rigs. It has very little natural fuel and ammo. It's sort of funny as well. It's called a seaplane, but it clearly has an A-10 Thunderbolt 2 pixel. But then again, this game's not exactly known for the Advanced Warfare is not known for excellent or realistic sort of model artwork. Oh well, A-10 is still an excellent unit or excellent aircraft. Fighter now pulled in the field. Kabata could have developed a Duster and load herself up to a Duster if she wants to skimp on the fighter. Then again, Duster's not exactly, CO Duster's not exactly cheap. Sacks the recon there. Is an infantry there. Sacks another infantry there. It's good hit there. And Greyfield is really on a roll. And does end his turn next to the rig to resupply it. Of course, you do have the fighter in the region. The fighter, of course, has excellent mobility. Should be able to perhaps break through the 8 rig to get access to one of those units. Probably has to focus on the seaplane first. But then again, it also the seaplane does have excellent defense. Capita's turn. Getting some scratches in the front line. Medium tank strikes medium tank. Fighter lurking around. Just staying out of range of... actually got in range of the seaplane. Don't know if that's a great idea. Maybe he's just trying to bait it. Anti-air tank. Another superpower, and he has 4,000 funds. That could be a double ambush spawn bomber. No, he's going for battlecopters. Another battlecopter there. Proxy temporary airports. Greyfield. Greyfield got a pretty sizable buff. And this is a game you just not should be able to proxy stuff, but we got multiple proxy battlecopters this turn. In fact, he is Greyfield's winning the weak side. This is supposed to be his weak side. Ambush spawn 3's battlecopters. It does hits the bomber. Of course, that additional 10% defense this turn. Yeah. You can spam battle covers is something that Sensei can't even do. Even task a bomber to strike the base. Seaplane knocks it off. Does start capturing the base there. Yeah, I think Tabata's done for. She has half the value and she's losing a whole flank, while Greyfield has enough to protect the other flank. Tank. Goes for Duster. No, I actually don't know who wins a fight between the Seaplane and Duster. The Tablet's just going to charge the flank over here. If she somehow gets her superpower, then she can nuke the entire formation, but now one of the bases have been captured, and the other bases will be next. Merge the battlecopters. Medium tank. Right now he does have 30,000 income versus 22,000. Yeah, I think it does go from Tabata does go from medium tank and battlecopter. I think honestly, 80 tank Duster maybe a little bit better idea. So she may not be able to afford that. Greyfield has enough for no superpower. Don't see any temporary airports over here. But you can save us money to get out another wave of battlecopters. Tank in here. Oh, there's a temporary airport right there. And now here comes Greyfield, just gonna have some more fun with his superpower likely. Oh, no superpower this turn. Yeah, even the airport is locked, the southwest one. Yeah, the missile. Yeah, I think at this point, like, I think Tabata is just got crushed. She almost just got crushed by Greyfield's power. He got a charge very quickly. An ambush spawn bomber is something you never want to hear ever in your life. Greyfield should save us money this turn and just go for triple ambush bomber. I'm starting to laugh maniacally. Anti-air tank. Tabata couldn't even spend all of her money. Decides to occupy the temporary airport. And goes for the missile. I'm pretty sure that missile's an ambush spotting range of a bomber right there. Time to capture. Pops the superpower. Seaplane strikes the missile. Oh, there's also another temporary airport there. There's a battlecopter, of course. There's a battlecopter, of course. There's a bomber, of course. Temporary airport in the lower middle first, and black plan. Oh yeah, Greyfield definitely got a massive buff in Tiny Wars, that's for sure. Maybe it would be a good idea not to do ambush spawned aircraft. Let's be frank, it can be really trolly. I don't think I've ever heard a Greyfield's music CO theme ever played for so long. Either way, this is Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Not that button. And of course that also bugs out, so I gotta refresh. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars, Daisy Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spelled on the bottom right side as the Green Hawk, we got Siler SK. Spelled on top left side as the Dark Gray Isabella, we got Evil Ange. Isabella, of course, is nerfed with the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. As all units get plus 10% offense, plus 10% defense. And of course, in the super, all units get a plus 2 movement range. And of course, all indirect units get a plus 1 indirect range. Aqua's, of course, technically a custom CO in Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars. You get a standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 70, 120. 120 for the max energy. Get standard plus, you get the plus 1% offense, plus 10% defense for all units. Of course, you get the effect of Black Wave consuming 50 energy. You get Black Storm for 100 energy, which is less than the maximum of 120, so you can get a bit of an extra power charge going. This map all starts you off with a good number of properties, so it's a bit more bike opener map. You also do start out with an airport as well. Pike infantry. Very different in music. Of course, that's Isabelle in a nutshell. I'm always surprised how her music theme is in this game. It makes absolutely no sense. Pike. Pike. Infantry. Hawk can't afford to tank this turn, but of course he would be base skipping. He does go for artillery unit instead. As well as 13,000 funds, which can afford to tank this turn and not the base skipping. Tank, Pike. You'll likely seal the tank. In terms of capture there. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good explanation. And Hawk is the only one of the few, actually, never mind, in the not Days of Ruin series, Hawk is effectively the only one who's ever killed another CO. He killed Stern, and also killed Von Bolt, right? Of course, in Days of Ruin, we know Lynn killed Greyfield. Cyrus was technically not a CO in Days of Ruin, but did die. Calder, I think he just blew up with the nest. He went down the ship. Will did not kill him, right? I can't remember. Oh yeah. Yeah, quite possibly. To be honest, he's like the most forgettable CO in all of Advanced Wars. I think Wayland is, not Wayland, Davis is more rememberable than Jake in most situations. He and, of course, the Beast are both also technically COs. Isabella does get the strike there, has 10 energy. Marcus right now has 0 energy, but there's a lot of targets in front of him. He has a target-rich environment. He may go strike the artillery, but it's getting out of max range. Decides to go up north. Some good hits there, up to 14 energy. Drops the capture, artillery covering it as well. Battlecopter, infantry, mech. But then again, I think Cole is also pretty forgettable as a CO. Yeah, Cole is also pretty forgettable. Artillery there, good number of forces there. 1 tank plus 2 tanks, so Hawk has a good position, though Isabella does have a good amount of bikes there. Good strike there, up to 21 energy, get some good damage going. Do have another battlecopter, more infantries, and he has a good number of mechs, which are slow to advance, but they're pretty good. Good shot there. Mech, tank. So both sides going with a good number of mechs on a map that's pretty wide open and slow for mechs. No anti-airs in the field, which means Isabella's going to have trouble versus the battlecopters. 3 battlecopters, and Hawk is exploiting the fact that Isabella has no anti-airs to stop these battlecopters. At this point in time, Isabella needs to go for a Duster. And Dusters wouldn't be half bad choice as well. There's a good number of infantry on the field for the Duster's strafe as well. Anti-air. Mech also deployed in the field. Was getting some good damage up north. Does normally enter the range of artillery. Does hit the artillery as well. Hawk's on 62 energy. He can pull out Black Wave next turn. It'd be a good idea to get as much power charge before firing off Black Wave. Just so he can, well, get more power charge. That's something that it does matter in this game as well. There's very low COs in this game we have to worry about getting power charge, as most of them only have a superpower. Most COs don't even have a power of any sort, and some of them have the same cost of the power and superpowers as the Beast. Is that a battle cup in range for anti-air? Does launch the power at the end of the turn. Very nice. Tank infantry. Getting some damage down there, getting some power charge going. She almost has enough for her superpower. Just 3 more energy, which is pretty easy to get. All the Hawk needs to deny superpower is to pull back these units away from the CO zone, forcing it to push forward. That can delay the superpower by a turn. Yeah, Hawk should just fall back away from this aura. Because Isabella's superpower would give her +2 movement range, which is very important. Either delete or fall back for these units. That's what one health infantry unit can stay on the front line. It's of course going to give 1 power charge. There we go. She does. Hawk does pull back. Very good. Isabella just needs to creep a little bit forward. Has a little bit more than little. She's charging on in. Gets some good strikes there. The next turn she will have her power. She can start prepping some units on the flank to get the +2 movement range. Good contact there by Hawk, which will greatly blunt Isabella's superpower next turn. Multiple anti-airs on the field, but they will be ranged by the superpower. And since most of the tanks, the strong units, are knocked out, charging forward will be quite detrimental. Another mention is a good number of mechs for the counterattack. Pops her superpower. A lot of mercs there. 2 battlecopters will go down. Tank will strike tank. Infantry will strike infantry. Mech sprints across the river and hits the... yeah, the close range of the mechs is quite good. So that unit there. Start capture the front and flip that property. Machine gun bullets there. Does got the tank there. Artillery just advanced the way forward. Reinforcements come in fast, pretty quickly. So that unit there. Tank, bike, and no infantry. Artillery strikes artillery. Hawk has quite a bit of power charge can get this turn. So that tank there. So Isabel lost her command tank. RVCO this one right there. Battlecopter, infantry, artillery. Right now, Hawk is ahead by quite a bit of value. Isabel is very far behind. The Superpower did a good job evening out, but still wasn't super great since she did take a lot of hits beforehand. Hawk has 42 energy. I will likely get a superpower next turn, just needs 6 more energy, or his power, not superpower. Decides not to either get power charge for the power. If I merge 3 health, yeah, it does merge right there. There's some machine gun rounds from the tank there. Isabel has not reloaded herself up into a tank just yet. Battlecopter, mech, bike, mech. Bike, infantry. Does pop the black wave. Of course, it does have now plus 20, plus 10 global. Good hits there. Mech's getting some great work done. Isabel doesn't have too much left on the field. Down to less than 40,000 versus 93,000. 109,000. It's not looking good for Isabella. She may just resign this turn. She does get a good amount of power charge this turn, but there's so many mechs nearby. I don't think she'll stay alive. Another tank. She is on top of a wasteland. Does give her 2 defense stars and then just 1. A lot of mechs go those shots there. There's another tank there. It looks like Isabel's command tank will stay up, just needs some more damage and she get her superpower, which is actually probably likely. I see a healthy infantry unit there in range. But even if she does pop the superpower, won't accomplish all too much. Right now she's at 35,000 field versus Hawk's 86, plus his day-to-day. Close back the CO unit. This property down right here, still despicably neutral. Isabella may pop her superpower this turn. It'll have 2 anti-airs and a full health tank and an 8 health tank. This tank will probably be out of range of everything. I actually could engage this tank right there. She may pop our superpower. Does pop the superpower. Go Bike does get a shot there. Did not take out the infantry unit there. This lead battlecopter. And both battlecopters do go down. Good damage there. Tank. Strikes the tank there. Mech going across the mountain. Mech Bike. Artillery firing away. Takes out the 7 health tank. The Hawk has a super or his regular power now available. Probably a good idea to maybe pop the power this turn. Does pop an in turn. Tank, infantry, battlecopter. Tank, mech, and infantry. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Good shot there. Infantry does get a good pick. There's a lot of targets in front of her, so she's getting some good power charge going, that's for sure. Another anti-air. Already at the 31 energy. Got a bit of a mech spam on the left side, which if you squeeze another superpower, they can at least sprint across in the mountains. Hawk can pop another power this turn, but already moved his tank. Good picks there. Anti-air. Mech Bike. And Isabel's tank, command tank will go down. And Hawk has his superpower available. Let's pop the superpower. These units are 3% health, 1% health, 1% health. 1% health units are guaranteed to die. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. And starting the HQ capture now, so next turn the game will be over. Just trying to go next turn. You now Duster there. And of course, this is going to be the end of the game. Just and capture HQ and end the game. That's Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, let me use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see now, text document. I keep on hitting that button. This time didn't spam out air. Oh, yeah. I think this replay is actually a decently long one. By the way, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days Are In Tiny Wars replay. Very, very tiny wars. Spawn on top left side as the red color got haha 1, 2, 3. Spawn on top bottom right side as the blue Zhao Titong got me. When it comes to COs, Calder is reworked from the cartridge counterpart. It doesn't say minus or plus, but it's really technically should say minus since he was just blatantly overpowered in the cartridge. Center boarding cost, 2 radius, no expansion, no energy. He provides all units in the CO zone plus 25, and 2 health recovery this turn. And that's it. And spawn for Zhao Titong, he's a custom CO which provides minus 90% boarding cost, 0 radius, no expansion, nothing there. So effectively you get a 90% rebate upon loading a CO unit. I have no idea how this is going to go because I think Calder's rate is going to be massive, but it's not going to have any fun support everything. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. I have no idea how this map's going to go. Looks like Blue's rushing up north to grab that city. Most I don't really cover the capturing order, but I think this map, it would make sense. Having Red rush the city is probably a bad idea. Rushing for this city does make sense. Because he's going to trap himself going right there. And he won't be able to interrupt the capture. So this city unit should have gone for this property there since he was not going to stop the capture there. And their income will be equalized out. He could have got a little bit more monies earlier on. Is that 3,000 in monies in the bank? Does get a strike there. More infantry units. Maybe Culture should load himself up into an infantry unit on this map. Is this a good map for recons? I have no idea. 6,000 income. Blue did save some money, so he's trying to tech up. Maybe he gets a bit of rebate, which is actually pretty good probably on this map. Got a recon deployed by Calder. He's going to seal himself up in the recon. The original Calder would have definitely preferred big maps with plenty of cities. Does not load himself into the recon there. And do have 10,000 funds stored on up. So he's probably going to go for a tank this turn. Wait, what? Let's go back for a moment. Oh no, he has 6,000 funds. I was completely mistaken. I thought I read 10,000, but I must have completely mistaken. That's a war tank. Zhao Titong can make this war tank cost 90% less. I don't know what Calder's supposed to do. Calder will need an 8th tank to deal with this war tank. Seems good strikes there. Good play, and he's winning infantry war. That's the thing, though. He's winning infantry war. The artillery is going to be a good option. War tank takes the recon, but he goes for a second war tank. Calder has to, yes, surround the artillery. He has a mech. Wastelands do provide hiding. So he doesn't, Zalditong needs a flare. Does spot the infantry unit there. Does not spot the artillery in range Zalditong's command war tank. Good damage there. Another artillery there. I don't think he should pull back the city. That's going to be expensive repairs. It's just cheaper for him to reload a CO unit another unit. And he's being very passive. The single Calder artillery is providing quite a bit of momentum. Does spot the second war tank. Mech decides to take a shot at the war tank, so he's going to be spending a lot of funds for repairs. Yeah, he should not have repaired it up. Artillery advance forward. They're both not in hiding. And this one, oh, Flare does get a good shot there. Spots the artillery. He could hit it with the war tank. He will hit the war tank there. Couple picks there. He was Billy Gates for a few days. Oh yeah, that was Super Famicom. Are you saying Billy Gates used to be Calder? Or talking about Zalditong? Does range the war tank more, a couple good hits there. Good mech play, and Calder's just spamming mechs, which appears to be working. Flares are good versus infantry. At this rate, Zalditong could go for 8 years. This level infantry, so maybe seems funny. He's spending too much on money on repairs. That's a bit of a problem. He's just spending far too much on repairs on these war tanks. Mech. He still has one artillery there. Does put the artillery. The war tank could strike the artillery. And does pull back there. Yeah, from Super Famicom droids, yeah. I know that, oh, he was Billy Gates, for the few days. As you're talking about the, rebate effect. Got it. Yeah, I remember he had, refunds. It just sort of went over my head. Another artillery there. The both incomes still 6,000. Another pair of infantry there. Mech. Just full on mech spam from Calder. There is that forest there. I think he should try creeping that artillery into the forest. Another infantry in there. The flare is actually out of ammo, which is actually very important, which means he's going to be blind next turn. And artillery gets a good strike there. The artillery is also running low on ammo. Goes with another artillery. Flare does get on top of the city there, so now it can get resupplied. Max make their way forward, does get some good shots there. Calder's command bike does down city. The artillery does strike the artillery. He does enter the range, fully knowing that's also this artillery will be a 7 health for next turn. And also has quite a bit of benefits, fully vetted, and of course Calder's aura. Good strike there, and there. Mech does strike the artillery, which is actually quite important. Mech slowly advance away forward, though this map is small enough where a slow is still pretty quick. Mech infantry. Command bike gets on top of Wasteland for a bit of hiding. Now Wasteland ruins. Zalditong has moved back the war tank back to the city. He can seal it to get a massive rebate. Anti-air. He's going to seal that war tank next turn. Does he got that unit there? Now he can start advancing towards the cities. A lot of good picks there by Calder. I think you should try going for the city's captures. The more intent get, the better. That's true for any game. I think more so for this game. Because CO the war tank there to get a pretty good refund. No he did not. That's gotta be a misclick. COing this would give him a massive rebate. Infantry. They had a misclick. Bike infantry. Another artillery there. Got a pretty good core of artillery. Good hits there. Artillery advancing. Also got that one infantry in there. Lots of good hits there. COs the war tank finally. Gets a mass rebate. Goes for rocket. I think a rocket will be X defensive tool right now. And the war tank is getting bracketed. I say the rocket should be base locking himself until that war tank goes down. Then you can seal the rocket and keep the money flowing. Pulls the rocket back to HQ. I quite understand that. But the rocket should be eyed for as a CO target. Next is straightforward. Cole just gets some captures going. Flares up north. And capturing one property is going to be massive. He has to use one of these units to interrupt the capture. Maybe the 4 health artillery for now. Decides to CO the tank there. No. You'll get a more rebate from the rocket, so you can pull out something more expensive. You have to get as much value back immediately. Rocket decides to interrupt the capture. Goes for a medium tank. Moves the artillery to the ruins there. This artillery is down to 1 ammo. Koto's bike does take a hit there. It does not go down there. Of course, get a bit of resupply for himself, but his, more important, his aura is still in effect. And resupplies that mech nearby. This artillery double taps the CO tank. Or CO the rocket next. Goes for a rig or this artillery? No, it's better. This is far too expensive, this map. It is better to move this artillery back here unless you want to make sure it fires next turn. This would save it from 2 turns. This would save it 1 turn. I don't know if that's worth 5,000 funds. CO's another regular tank there. Gets a firing, takes a flare. If unit could head up north if Carstyle catches the property, I think it really should be on that property. It will be massive. Medium tanks are starting to make the breakout. 2 of the artillery units are severely damaged. Mech gets CO'd. And Calder got broken. There's a big core of medium tanks. Goes for another pair of infantry. It's the rig. Yep. One of those infantry units should have captured this property a long time ago. He could have got it. The mech could actually get on top of the mountain instead, but a couple more mechs. This is just going to resort to mech spam. Mechs counter everything. They have equal firepower to tank. And of course, they get countered by everything as well. But on this map, small enough, mechs are perfectly fine. Those use the artillery there. See, there's another mech there. He's going to lock himself in. Artillery gets back to the HQ. This game is actually going on for much longer than I expected. It's turn 28 on this map. How? Infantry. Turn 29. Mech. Rocket does strike the artillery. Of course, there's the Coder mech nearby. His Altidong's a tank. He should lead this tank perhaps at 1% health or as little health as possible so he doesn't seal this medium tank. It's a good strike there. Infantry unit also suffered the rocket. Decides not to attack the tank there. Very good. Mech infantry. Buys the sack himself on the mech. Coder mech. Does. Medium tank infantry, and next turn the medium tank will get CO'd. Infantry. Good picks there. The value makes no sense, 14,073, but yet mechs are excellent enough in this map, it doesn't really matter. They hit well above their weight. Does a good trap there. Mech does strike the unit there and hits the medium tank. It is fully vetted there. Interrupts the capture, and Coder has resigned. I think both sides could have played this much better. By the way, that was a very interesting game. This Angry saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. How did that game go on for 32 turns? I have no idea. Again. And this time I just hit the menu button. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn top right side as the purple Tabata. We got Inconspicuous. Spawn top bottom left side as the green Gregor, or Lee. We got Yoshi Rider. Gregor is of course a custom CO. I say Gregor because it's also the Valkyria Chronicles model, a 3D model imported into this 2D game. Standard boarding cost 330, 60, 60. He's an interesting CO. Gets a very meager +10/+10, but all units that start their move within a CO zone get +1 movement range. You can use him to push forward from the base or push forward with assault. He is a little bit adaptable. When it comes to Course Superpower, Course gets +2 move range for all units globally. Relatively simple. He seemed like it would be incredibly powerful CO, but also he's just sort of middle of the road. Tabata is of course unchanged to the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 0 radius, 30, 60, 60. Of course provides herself, then later on other units, +60, +60. And of course for Hero Superpower, you get Storm Meteor. Let's get started. This map does offer triple base, 1 airport. The airport's also slightly slower, because of course got some superheated plasma. 1 of 5 states of matter. And yes, there are in fact 5 states of matter. The extreme cold side is called boson-Einstein condensate, where atoms get so cold they start losing electrons, as opposed to the plasma side where atoms get so heated up they become ionized and start losing their electrons. Did I say atoms earlier? I meant electrons. Too cold to hold on to electrons or too hot to hang on to electrons? Bike infantry. Gelder or Gregor has loaded himself up into a bike there. So he can move himself pretty quickly around the map to capture some properties. Not a bad idea for him. And he can also just drive back to some location and start boosting units forward. Best to put him on your strong side, we can push more units forward, as opposed to weak side. Like infantry. Tabata has gone for mech on her strong side as well, a little bit slow. Tank, infantry. Tabata, of course, load herself up and tank, has right now 15,000 funds in her bank, so she could eye for a bit heavier, but probably will just eye for some tanks. Tank mech, so she is deploying a good number of tanks in the field. Both sides capture the comm tower. And Gregor is heading up north. We have artillery down south for him. Tank and medium tank, so we do have medium tank for green. Quick first strike there. If she gets to 30 energy, she becomes a even more deadly unit, which is able to boost up nearby units with absurd firepower. Because right now this tank, of course, has a +80/+80 from her just being loaded up into that singular unit. We now have anti-tank infantry tank. Address that one almost permanently. The strikes up here. Tank and artillery here does go for a medium tank to help stabilize the region. Got also an anti-tank down south. Tabata will have a bit of trouble with that anti-tank, of course. She's right now 10 energy. She could try charging to the ranged artillery, but still not a good idea even for her. She head down south, pick up that 8 health bike for some energy. But she'll still need more power charge to get her aura increased. Battlecopter. Tank, neck, and her command tank does fall back. The artillery does get struck there, but the tank is ranged in the mech. The artillery, of course, should be able to deal with that infantry unit there. The mech will, of course, get a good strike on the tank. Infantry, anti-air, and more infantry with another battle copter. Get some picks there. And the tank does go down. Alto's command tank's pushing up here, should be able to ward away everything. As I mentioned, we've got a pretty good amount of units up here, and this is supposed to be her weak side. Her strong side is not super well invested into, while Lee's force is pretty high value, but pretty slow, so it gives Tabata some time to get some reinforcements going, such as the battle copters. Battlecopter mech tank. And now she's up 19 energy. I think Lee's plus some defense aura came in handy there. Battlecopter, medium tank, bike, and infantry. So this medium tank heading down south. Lee pull back his bike there. We will push forward pretty easily. Battlecopter anti-air. Oh. The unit got deleted up there. Didn't remember what type of unit it was. Probably just trying to prevent any power charge for Tabata. Anti-air infantry. Battlecopter, artillery, mech, and tank. Oh, another unit got deleted up top left. Wasn't paying attention to what it was. But the top does take time to try to fix it properly. Lee does have 28,000 versus the top has 23. Right now, she does have better value right now once it gets done her spending her day to day. And here, medium tank. looks like the bike here is almost out of fuel. 27 fuel remaining. Does for bomber, infantry, and artillery. Top up may need to plow a duster to counter. Good strike there and there. Anti-air battlecopter infantry tank, so looks like she's not going to be trying to counter the bomber out with any dusters. Going to just use her anti-airs for that. Tank, battlecopter, mech, tank. Both sides establishing their front line. They're not colliding at the moment, however. Tank up north finally gets picked on off. Just wipe down south. And you can see here, this force is actually starting to get encircled, which could cause some issues. Alpha could pressure the encirclement by capturing some of these outlying cities, forcing them to respond. Alpha right now has 26 energy. This could be the start of a wall break as well. She strikes one of these frontline infantry units there, get enough power charge to get +1 radius, and she can push forward from another attack there. Her getting to 30 is somewhat easy, but her going from 30 to 60 is actually incredibly easy for her. Bomber is trying to keep check of Tabata's command tank there. It does stay out of range the anti-air. And there's her +1 CO zone. Gets a couple quick hits there. Another power charge right there. Up to 56, so she doesn't get her power next turn. But possibly she could if her opponent advances too far forward and stay in the radius. She basically Lee has to make sure he does not get any units within the radius or adjacent to the radius of Tabata right now. Because if she deploys her superpower, it will likely nuke this entire formation. And very likely. Could strike the target the bomber. It does follow the same mechanics Stern from it looks like, where it either focuses the value, HP, or indirect. Where indirect units are worth, it's a value meter where indirect is worth twice the amount. Oh, I don't like that tank placement. I don't think this bomber is enough to take on. It does only half damage there. Tabata's gonna get her superpower next turn. This tank, as well as this battlecopter, should not advance forward the radius. She should get I think Tabata needs to get her I think she should fall back and cast the nuke. Ooh. 2-2-1. 163. He just lost 25% of his army right there. Not to mention she has now plus 60 global. She's not going to take any damage this turn, and she's going to be hyper lethal with all units this turn. So now all these guys 2 health, they're not going to do maybe even 1 point. I don't think this medium tank can even get 1 point of damage on the infantry unit if they attack first. Everything's dead down south. She can be aggressive. She can take a counterattack because it's going to be largely nullified. Now poof, boom. Let's see. Can't one-shot an infantry unit on the road. And don't think. I'm trying to see, there's good formation of aircraft back there. Was this a formation there trying to draw the meteor? It was probably an HP meteor. This could have been the value meteor that he was eyeing, but I think it was an HP one. So there's a lot of stuff there. I think probably could have been value as well. Could have been indirect as well. There was a number of indirects, including the artillery and the anti-tank as well. Try to avoid having to deploy out her superpower at all costs that turn. And Tabata right now is 133 versus 137. I think that's game over. Tabata, if she launches her superpower, it's usually game over. Not even 50 funds, 1,000 funds there. Talking about the aircraft. Yeah, may have been correct. It's just me taking cursory glances. My offhand math, that sort of thing, and quick math is just non-existent. Looks like Tabata is lacking anti-air up here. There's only one anti-air in this region. Also we got the rockets. Bomber, infantry, infantry, infantry. Sorry, I love Tabata's music. Days of Ruin did a really good job on soundtrack. Though I think Wayland's theme is probably the best of all of them because it has a very good design with it. And Green has resigned. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Probably have enough in me for one more replay for tonight. So let's hopefully find a good one. This one does offer some ships, so hopefully this will be a good one. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on the bottom side as the dark gray Will, we got Woozy Inc. Small on the north side as the green Cyrus, we got Yoshi Rider. Cyrus is of course a custom CEO in Days of Ruin, standard boarding cost through 3, 30, 60, 60. Has a relatively mild plus 15 for all units. Additionally, for his superpower, his CO unit becomes unloaded, reverts back to unlevel status, no veterancy whatsoever. And then you may redeploy your CO unit to any unwitting unit for no boarding cost, allowing to tech up a CO unit as well as abandoned wounded units. And then you can also get a strategical missile silo that does only 2 damage rather than 3. Will, of course, is unchanged for the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost 2, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, plus 10. All ground direct fire units get additional plus 20% offense. And of course, for superpower, you got nice and simple plus 2 movement range. There's a seaport here. This triple base here does immediately pull his HQ, gunboat off the HQ. Just one stupid question. Yep, ships cannot go back on. It would surprise me if there's going to be some sort of custom to HQ, which is offer like a bit of water, by the way. And boosting his infantry to the base there. Airport in the center, somewhat forward, so could be locked down by a missile. There's decent number of shores in the map, so it's not really meant for blue water ships, only for brown water ships. So gunboats can be annoying getting to the map and just cause mobility issues. Also, a pair of compounds on the map, which both of them are quite contestable. There's also a good amount of shore tiles over here, so easy traversement. This is all 100% traversable here. Of course, landers could make a play, but landers are somewhat expensive, just when you start a free gunboat. That's usually all you need in a lot of cases. Does interrupt that capture, very nice. Does tap upon there, but likely will be fully stopped next turn for the bike. But then it'll be double tapped by bikes. Infantry, bike. Compound is interrupted, so green has a counter, gray does not. Tank, infantry. First tank on the field. Cyrus likely to load himself up into that tank. Will likely load himself up into a tank as well. Recon. And infantry. Does sack his infantry unit there, hit that infantry unit, does get 2 power charge, how damning. Will could load himself in the recon to get some power charge going, looks like not. Though he does have a tank here, does CO inside the tank. Advance in the center as well, he does manage to capture this comm tower. Both sides of the comm tower. Ain't here. Infantry mech. It's good hit there, but the bike or battlecopters are going to reign supreme. Battlecopters do have a bit of a forward deployment, of course. If the battlecopter can somehow take out the bike there along with the infantry, then the tank can strike the anti-air. So it feels like Gray is maybe pushed too far forward with that anti-air, and probably should have gone for another anti-air down here. Strike there, does attempt to capture the comm tower, does fully stop there, and tank will actually strike the tank. So nicely with front rotation. I think it was possible to take the anti-air, but this front switch was also a very good idea. So I set at 37 energy. And Chris trying to start saving up for more expensive unit there since he's pretty close to his own superpower. Anti-air tank and artillery. Good strikes there. And tank, mech, and anti-air. Pulls back his command tank. Good strike there. Does take out the Will's tank there. Very nice. Does have to be careful on this battle copter. Has 4250 energy. Just pushes slightly forward. Will needs to pull back some of these units here to avoid any donating power charge. Don't think the battle copter can take out that tank one run. It is on no star defense, which and it's also out of range mode, but it'll be easy enough to take it out. Won't be able to one-shot it. So Cyrus could deploy super power next turn, but I think he needs to go for something expensive next turn as well. So he can tech up. At 53 energy, but he's losing a lot of stuff in the center of the map right now. Starts to turn 61,000, Will ends turn 74. Pulls back the tank there, quite understandable. Good shots there. Probably could have got a bit of power charge, just going to charge forward like that. Artillery, battlecopter, infantry. So he may reload a CO unit into a battlecopter current rate. Kind of like to be striking next. Another artillery is hitting that city as well, so you could probably strike it from right here. Gets a good free shot there, and once again, a bit poor movement there. Could have got more power charge there because it's right now in radius. Right now he's at 58 energy, 2 more energy, and he will get his CO power. Could have got the CO power charged up. Probably good idea to go with something expensive this turn. Tank, infantry, tank. Now battle copter in this area looks like it's going pretty promising. Nothing, there's the anti-air to stop it. Tank, mech, and anti-air. Oops. I have to click on the button. Good shot there. Has the CO power available. He could launch it off. I'll wait till the next turn. And has 20,000 funds in the field. Goes for a regular attack there. In-range artillery. Does hit the artillery. He's somewhat prone to getting hit there. Got a 4 health battlecopter in range. He could sack the tank, hit the tank with the artillery, and finish it off the battlecopter as a possibility as well. Does not go for that combination though. And a lot of congested units there, so this seems like a good target for the missile silo. Launching missile silo here will strike all that stuff. Got series tanks from last turn as well. He may pop his power this turn. Launch the missile over there. He reloads the CO unit inside this tank there. Equal teching. Of course, he does have plus 15 global this turn, which actually is important. Got tank, infantry, and of course a battlecopter. Accessory now has 97, 96 versus 71. So pretty even on both sides, down to day-to-day differences. That's some good hits. Another battle copter pulled out on the field. ATR receiving some resupply. It's the battle copter there. Takes out the battle copter. 46 energy. Artillery gets a good strike there. 10 free power charge, 14, and 21 power charge. And that's the battle copters right there. These tanks are pretty safe from the mechs. The interior can't reach the battle copter as well, so this area is pretty well firm of green. And he has a pretty good force there. Gray has a good number of tanks here, but good number of battered, bruised, and beaten. This gunboat will need some refueling soon. Anti-air. Tank, anti-air infantry. Artillery does strike the command anti-air. Good hit there at 35 energy. There's a lot of targets in front of him, so he can start getting some more power charge this turn. Lots of good small picks there. 56 energy, 57 energy, 59 energy, and he won his turn. Though the infantry unit on the HQ is going to be stuck there, and there's this plus one Ciozo. We got Will's superpower managed to get squeezed out. Now he gets plus 2 Moon. This is going to be an excellent counterattack, potentially. But right now he's 66 in the field versus 70, 84. So Will is behind. Get some good picks on outline. Mechs that sprint across the river. Tank does strike tank. And it's turn 76. Cyrus starts turn 78, so they're very even at the moment. Cyrus is going to use his own superpower. Besides, looks like he's not going to. Pops it right there, strikes the missile. Fire the missile over here. It's at Will's command anti-air. Probably see him load up in the bike next turn. Not bike, battlecopter. Infantry, mech, and medium tank. Need to get reloading this tank here. Good strikes there. He loads himself up to a regular infantry unit there. He's probably getting a little bit desperate. Does get 10 power charge. Cyrus getting some good power charge there, up to 14 energy already. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Units pull back, gets good hits there. 29 energy. Anti-air, and infantry. Good shot there. Artillery, infantry, tank. Insert 61, starts with turn 77. Lots of good picks there. Has plus 1 CO zone. Has enough targets in front of him that he could launch another seal power this turn. Makes an advance over here. Nothing much to stop in the moment. Ends a turn with 50 energy. Infantry, battlecopter, artillery. Good hit there. And medium tank down the bottom right with artillery. Will does get 33 energy, so it's plus 1 CO zone now. He may get more power charge this turn. Maybe he'll pull out superpower again next turn, but so will Cyrus likely as well. Just needs 7 more energy, which I see some in that battlecopter. Antier just needs to strike it. And there's the superpower. Pops it, drops the missile right there. And reloads himself up in the medium tank over there. Get some good picks over here. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and base skip. Tank infantry. Will has 57 energy, pretty close to superpower, but his infantry unit that he's loaded up into has 2 health remaining, so it's light going down this turn. Like with everything else, though. I think at this point in time, Will is just starting to disintegrate. He has 10 military units of field versus 24, not to mention 43 versus 100,000. Infantry, anti-tank. Can probably start marching to HQ relatively soon, but only has a single full health mech nearby, which it could be protected by artillery across the sea. Tank battlecopter. And Gray has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening,